Hi, today I'm going to teach you how to spin around the pole. I'm going to show you two basic spins. I'm going to show you mistakes that are often made when we're first taught to spin around a static pole and how to fix them. Hi, my name is Annie. I've been a pole dancing coach for over 20 years and I'm here to help you become the best pole dancer you can be. The first spin we're going to learn is something called a sword spin, and it looks a little bit like this. I love this spin to start with because you don't have your full body weight on the pole. You have to land on the floor anyway, so it doesn't matter if it goes slightly wrong. And it looks really, really pretty. So we're going to go into this in so much detail so you can take these things away with you to apply to all of your other spins, even your advanced pole spins. It is so important that we do train both sides. You're probably bored of hearing that, but I have found that if I train both sides, my better side gets even stronger than if I was to just train it alone. When we start our spins on static, we're often told to stand directly beside the pole. This cuts off a lot of the rotation. So I suggest you stand, I'm going to show you from this angle, slightly behind the pole so that the pole is slightly in front of you. I like telling everybody to come up onto their tiptoes when they learn to spin. This is for so many reasons. It looks nice, it will help with the rotation, and also makes pole become just slightly more of a leg workout as well, rather than just arms all the time. Once we're in our starting position, we are going to use our inside arm. So our inside arm is the one closest to the pole. Our outside arm is the one furthest away. We're going to take our inside arm as high as we can. Once we're here, can you see how my shoulder is now pushing against my face? I want to lightly engage it, pull it down, so I have just a little bit of a space here. To pull this shoulder down, my shoulder blades in the back, I'm going to imagine they're pulling down and sliding into my back pocket. Often a cue that gets taught is shoulders back and down. We don't want our shoulders aggressively back and down like this. This isn't the natural position of the shoulder when we're trying to weight bear with our arm above our head. So just a light engagement and pulling through here. Now a second hand can go wherever you feel comfortable. I always suggest around belly button height. Often people are taught with this bottom hand to push away from the pole. That can have its uses, but to get comfortable and good at spinning first, I don't recommend that. Pushing away from the pole can often cause you to slow down because you are applying even more force and friction onto the pole. I always say that this bottom hand here should feel like a loose handshake. You know, those horrible ones. So it's just there as a bit of a guide. Next up, we want to talk about core engagement. To lightly engage our core, pop your hand just below your belly button. You want to take a deep breath in. Imagine you have got a mirror or a pair of glasses in front of you, and you want to steam or fog up the glasses or the mirror. If you pop your hand there, when you do that breath, you will feel this light engagement going on. And this is perfect for all things pole, even your advanced stuff. Lots of things to think about. Inside arm, light engagement. Second hand, loose handshake. Tummy, light engagement. Now, let's talk about where the rotation is coming from. We're often taught with pole that the rotation comes from swinging the outside leg around. The problem with this is it often cuts off the rotation around the pole. You can see from here to here, we've only created a quarter turn around the pole. The sword spin that we are doing today, our leg is out to the side. So now where is the rotation coming from? It's coming from your hips. Now the pole is a cylindrical object, so we need to create circles always around the pole to keep that energy and that momentum moving round. So our hips, we are going to push back, and then we're going to pull away, and then our outside hip is going to circle around. So you can see there is a little bit of a circle already being created. If you can master the technique of creating the rotation coming from your hips, this is golden and will stay with you for so long and help with all things as you advance on the pole. Inside arm nice and high, second hand wherever you feel comfortable. I'm going to start with my outside leg behind me, pulling my hip back. I'm then going to start bringing my hips away from the pole, leaning, still pulling through here, And then as I turn my hips into the pole, my other leg just catches against it. And that's what we want for this spin. Once we find the pole with our leg, we can then bend it. And you have two options. This foot can come off the floor, but if you're feeling a little bit nervous, maybe you have sweaty hands, maybe you haven't got the strength just yet, which is absolutely fine, we're just going to allow that foot to drag across the floor. It's a bit of a safety net. It means not all of our weight is being held through our arms off the floor. Into our starting position, outside leg behind. As we bring it around, our hips are going to circle. We're going to turn our hips and chest into the pole, find the pole with our leg, and then bend it as we slide down to the floor. There are so many ways to get out of this move. Today, we're just going to take our hands over towards the bent leg, chest down on the floor, and roll over. You can then experiment with a little bit more speed, because sometimes a lot of beginners say to me, I don't get much rotation. To get a little bit more speed and rotation around the pole, if you're struggling with this, it might be that you're holding on too tightly. And I totally understand that. You're flying around a metal stick, you want to make sure you're safe. So take your time with this one and only experiment with loosening your grip when you feel ready. To loosen our grip, I am just slightly releasing my fingers just a tiny bit, but I am making sure I'm still pulling through the shoulder. This slight loosening of the grip here will allow you to rotate and slide down just a little bit faster. I'm just going to show you that one. Step, rotate. Sometimes people spin too fast, and my answer to that is squeeze a little bit harder. And it might be that at the moment you're not able to, and that's fine, but keep practicing and you eventually will be able to. Now let's talk about making it look just a little bit prettier. If you feel very comfortable with all of those elements, there are a few things we can do. Number one, just start slightly further away from the pole. Make sure this arm isn't in a compromised position as well. From here, I'm unable to pull through my shoulder as well, so I still need my arm up nice and high. As we rotate around, I'm going to look away from the pole, or some people like to look up towards the pole. Entirely up to you, whichever feels comfortable for you. Try, if you can, and really point your toes on both feet. This not only makes the move look really nice, but it also helps with proprioception. So the more you squeeze your muscles in your leg, the more you know where you are in space. This is so helpful later on when you're learning upside down tricks and you don't know what the hell is going on. So try and point your toes right from the get-go. Once you feel completely comfortable with all of that, release your outside arm as well, but do make sure you have the strength and the grip in your hand. Let me show you the sword spin now with all of those elements. Starting a little bit further away from the pole, step in, hook, and then you can let go. You might have noticed as well that I started to walk around the pole to get into my spin. This is really good if you think that you are going to want to learn routines and put moves together. I really like teaching people to spin from a static position because it gives them less to think about. But once we have that down, we can learn to walk around into the spin. Take as many steps as you feel comfortable. I go outside, inside, outside, inside, and then go. I know some people prefer to step with the inside first because then it's only 3 steps. Literally entirely up to you. There is no right, there is no wrong. The only thing I would suggest is making sure you're up on your tiptoes when you do this and you don't land heel then toes, because again, it doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing as if we're on our toes, but essentially it is up to you. So your sword spin, hands in spin position, up onto your tiptoes, core engaged, take some steps around the pole, and when you're ready, circle the hips, hook the inside leg, and if you feel comfortable, release the hand. Lean towards the bottom knee, roll over, and that's your sword spin. Now you've learned all of the elements to a basic spin, you can apply these to almost any other spin you like. So I'm going to go through very quickly the fireman spin. This is my favourite pole spin, possibly my favourite pole move of all time, because it makes you feel like you're flying around the pole and it is so fun. Let's think about all the elements that we've just spoken about. Inside arm nice and high, pulling through the shoulder, second hand where you feel comfortable, slightly away from the pole. I'm going to show you the fireman spin first and then talk you through the leg positioning. We're going to swing the outside leg around, but still making sure it's coming from the hip. As we turn into the pole, the outside leg hooks on and the second leg comes behind. As I rotate, the outside leg comes in front, the other leg comes behind. Again, all of the elements you've learnt in this video, you can now apply to all of your basic spins, and it should make them feel amazing. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Let me know in the comments what you'd like next.